Skip those standard chocolate brownies and dance and make some delicious apple brownies with Tinky Weisblat. She's a food writer at tinkycooks.com. You dance a lot while you cook.
I love to dance and sing while I cook.
That's how we stay young.
Yeah.
Now we're cutting up some apples. How many do we need for this recipe?
I'm cutting this one with the skin on. They're supposed to be skin, but I don't think it matters.
I think I've read that the nutrients sometimes are found more heavily in the skin.
I think we'll just see how it comes out.
Yeah. If you're going to leave the skins on, though, folks, wash them well.
Yes.
I think we can all agree on that.
And these have been washed.
Okay.
And these sad little but very tasty little apples are all from my yard.
It's just that time of year where they haven't plumped up yet.
Well, and they're ripening fast. So, and we don't need to worry about the fact that you can see that almost as soon as you cut them, they brown. But since we're making brownies,
they're going to be brown anyways.
They're going to be brown. So we're just about done. The recipe calls for 6 medium brownies. Apples, excuse me, not brownies.
We have a couple apples. Would you classify this apple as a small apple? I would call that a small apple. What would you call that apple we have over there?
I would call that a medium to large apple.
Okay.
I would actually call that a large apple. So you want to adjust. Basically, what you're going to look for is about 4 cups of chopped apples. And
okay, that's what we're going for.
The recipe originally, which comes from Lois Brown of South Deerfield. Thank you very much, Lois.
What's happening?
Anyway, said 6 medium apples, but I measured 6 medium apples yesterday, and it's 4 cups. So there we go.
Give or take, that's where the fun comes into the baking.
Okay, so we take some melted butter. This is 2 sticks, 1 cup, and we add 2 cups of sugar. Now I have to say that my neighbors have tried cutting down the sugar.
Doesn't work.
Actually, it wasn't bad, but they said don't do it on TV because it was a little hard to get out of the pan.
Oh, okay, great tip.
So we're working on that.
All right.
Would you like to stir that, please?
I would love to. So this is just butter and sugar?
That is melted butter and sugar.
Okay. We're not messing around. This is not for the faint of heart.
I'm cracking my 2 eggs.
Okay.
And then I'm going to whisk the eggs together because the kind of weird thing about this recipe, but I've tried it both ways, and that is the way to do it, is that the apples go in next.
Okay. So should I put the apples into this mix?
Put in the apples, please. I will.
Here we go.
If I beat together the eggs, that will make them easier to mix into that mixture. I think the idea is if the apples go in now, everything gets much better blended together. And you don't have apple pieces sticking to your pan.
Okay, I'm going to blend this in. Eggs are next.
Eggs are next, and they're kind of mixed.
That's good enough for me.
Go for it. Okay, that's beautiful.
All right. Now I see a couple more things to mix in there.
Yes, we have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and ½ a teaspoon of salt coming right in.
All right, here we go. Here, you just keep pouring. I'll just keep stirring.
You keep stirring. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Looking at this, I think I might have been a little over generous, but can we ever have too much cinnamon?
There's no such thing. That's actually just a medical fact. No such thing as too much cinnamon. That's not true, by the way.
That it's not good for us?
No, who's to know? I don't want to make any claims.
Cinnamon is one of those spices that is supposed to have medicinal properties.
I've heard it's an anti-inflammatory.
Well, there you go. We don't want to be inflamed.
No one likes to be inflamed.
And then we have 2 cups of flour.
Okay. Can use any, if you want to use those fancy flours too.
This is all-purpose. I think you could use, I wouldn't use pastry flour because it's a very plain recipe. I would maybe use the white whole wheat.
Okay.
If you use a flour substitute, I would just be careful because you never know what if you want to try something gluten-free, I would go for something very specific that's like, I'm sorry to mention a name, but King Arthur flour has a gluten-free mix, something like that where you're sure that it's going to be a good gluten-free mix.
And if you're using something else like a tapioca flour or something like that, obviously there's, maybe 2 cups of one is 1½ cups. So just check before you do it. And now we're blending all this together again?
We blend that all together, and we're then, which we're not going to do because we want to eat some.
Yes.
Yeah, you just blend it up, and this is where it gets really tricky because you really want to blend it all together, and you want to make sure that all of those apple pieces get coated.
So this is when you want to take your time. Yeah, don't skimp on this step.
And so I have to, there are different things that are wonderful. By taking apples from my yard, A, I didn't have to go anywhere, and B, I was helping nature out, and C, I can say they're my very own apples.
That's true.
If you buy them at an orchard, it will take less time to cut them because the smaller they are, the longer it takes to cut them.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes a whole lot of sense.
We're getting there. So what we would be doing now, but we're not going to because we want to eat a brownie,
Okay.
is we would be putting this in a greased and floured, very generously greased and floured because they're a little sticky.
I would think so.
9 by 13 pan.
Okay, we pop it in the oven?
We pop it in a preheated 350-degree oven and cook it for about 45 minutes.
Very cool. And then they come out looking something like this that we have right here.
They're very hearty looking. They're very apple-y. They're pretty good.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's nothing like apples and cinnamon. Well, and it doesn't hurt that we added, you know, butter and sugar.
That's true. Now, Tinky, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
This recipe is going to be on our website, mymassappeal.com. Something that you should do, right?